Welcome to another episode of the Boss Experience podcast. My name is Michele Davis, and I'm your host. And I am so excited to be back, not just for another episode, but another season, delivering you the content you want to hear about business, about success in your business, and about growth in your business. So let's get started. In this episode, I'm actually going to discuss one of the biggest problems people have when they think about starting a business online, and that is what to sell. After all, you can't be in business if you don't know what to sell. But I'm going to take a different approach when it comes down to what you should sell. And this approach is controversial. It goes against everything you'll hear online, everything that the gurus will tell you. And most people actually tell you to start a business kind of backwards. They actually will tell you first, find out what's popular online. First, find out what's trending online. First, figure out what sells, what's selling online. What is the fastest selling product? What is the fastest selling service? What are people doing to make money online? And so what ends up happening is people get shiny object syndrome. They start chasing all of these things. And when I say all of these things, what happens is they chase the first thing they see. The minute they have it in their mind, they want to start a business. So they chase that first thing they see, not having any skill or expertise related to that service or related to, to be able to effectively market that product, right? So they chase after the first thing they see. And then when that flops and that doesn't work out, then they go and they chase after the next thing. And then what happens next is you kind of think, oh, well, maybe I should hop on this masterclass, or maybe I should buy this course, or maybe I should do this or that. And that's not my advice is never to start a business that way. So when you start a business solely based on what you think is trending, you're not only putting yourself at risk of not having a sustainable business, but you're also denying yourself your desire to be happy, your desire to feel passionate about what you are selling. And so many people get caught up in the fact that they don't think that passion is a part of business, that they have to sell something that, and that passion can't equal to joy, and that passion can't equal to you being successful. And I need you to unlearn that in this episode. I need you to unlearn that. I need you to give yourself permission to think about what you're passionate about. Give yourself permission to claim that you can build a business around something that you're already skilled at and you're already have expertise in that you also enjoy. Now, it doesn't mean just because you're passionate about something, it's going to make you money. You do have to do your due diligence and you do have to do your market research and make sure that you establish a business that's actually going to end up being profitable. And most importantly, you're going to have to be able to build that foundation for your business so that so that you're establishing a sustainable business. So let's talk about like how you go from passion to actual business idea. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do a brain dump. Well, you may be asking, Michele, what is a brain dump, right? So a brain dump is everything that comes to mind. You're allowing yourself to think freely. You're allowing yourself to, not have any restraints or limitations on what you think. You're going to allow yourself to think freely, and you're going to grab some paper. And if you haven't grabbed my Boss Business Planner already, I want to encourage you to grab it. So, and you get it at bossbusinessplanner.com, where I walk you through these same steps I'm going to give you in this podcast, but I also get a little deeper into just how do you use this information and actually, you know, launch a business and create that sustainability for long-term success in your business. So bossbusinessplanner.com. So if you don't have my business planner, what you want to do is you want to grab some paper. And you're going to take that paper and, like I said, you're going to let yourself think freely, and you're going to think about three things. Okay, so we talked about, the fact that you want to think about things you enjoy doing, things that you like. So the first thing you're going to think about is, what is it that you enjoy? Not things that you've done that the children enjoy, not things that you've done that your spouse enjoys, not things that you've done that you've been dragged along and forced to enjoy. What is it that you enjoy? And it's a question we don't ask ourselves enough of. What do we like? What do we enjoy doing? What brings us peace and solitude, when we are doing it? Because when you're thinking about building a business, if you build a business around things that you don't like or you're not passionate about, what ends up happening is you end up not being consistent, and you stop showing up for your business when things are not going smooth 100% of the time, because that's a misconception that entrepreneurship is not for the weak. But you don't want to fall behind on consistency, and you don't want to create another job for yourself. A lot of the people that I talk to, both as guests on my podcast, kind of fell into entrepreneurship because the 9 to 5 didn't work for them, or they couldn't find a job. That's why I kind of felt that's what made me start my own business. It didn't work for me. But even when I tried to find a job, I couldn't find a job. So I don't want to create another one of those for myself. I don't want to find myself working so many hours in my business that I'm just angry about this business I started, and then I just end up giving up altogether. So whatever you build your business around needs to be something that brings you joy, something you enjoy doing. So second thing is, what are you skilled at? Think about everything you've done in your career. Those experiences are valuable. So think about all the skills that you would have on your resume, all of the skills that you have done over the years. Most people don't realize, and they don't think about the fact that your job has been monetizing those skills for years, whether it was one job or multiple jobs. And all of your skills are profitable. After all, your employer has profited from your skills over the years, and they have benefited from you doing the very work that you're now looking at monetizing. So think about, what skills have you acquired over the years? And if you're having trouble thinking about it, think about, what are some things that people have asked you or looked to you to help them with? What problems have you solved for people? And think about your career, think about your family life, think about your neighbors, think about everything that's happened in your life. What skills and experiences do you have? Like, think deep about your skills and your expertise. And then you also want to think about things that you've overcome. So this is the third thing you want to think about. What is it that you've overcome in your life, at any age? So the next part of this process is to now turn all of those things you just dumped onto paper into an actual business idea. As an entrepreneur, you're solving problems, and the problem that you solve for people has to be big enough and transformative enough that they will pay you for it, right? Whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whatever it is, you have to solve a big problem. It has to be, you have to understand who you plan to have as a customer in your business. And you have to know how to be able to reach them in your messaging and in their marketing. That's why it's so important for you to really connect with what it is you're passionate about, because when you convey a message to people based on something you've experienced, something you've overcome, or something you can talk ad nauseum about, they're going to pay attention to you because they're going to feel like you understand them as long as your messaging is on point, right? So in this second step, you're going to turn all of everything that you just put down on that piece of paper from your brain dump, and you're going to turn that into a business idea. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to look at what you wrote down, and I want you to take each item and to line it up with a potential problem that can be solved. And if you don't know what potential problem could be solved by some of the things you wrote down, don't worry about that. Worry about the things that you put down on paper and isolate the ones that you don't know yet. And that's fine. You can come back to those later. But there should be some clear problems that you identify based on what you did write down, at least for a good percentage of everything you recorded on that paper, everything from your skills and expertise to what you feel passionate about, and things you've overcome. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to look at this list and you want to just kind of think for a moment. And the first thing you that may jump into your mind is, not everything on this list I can envision myself doing. So don't focus on those. Allow yourself to focus on which problems you envision yourself solving. Okay? And you want to start circling those, and you want to move those into another list. And if there were some items that you didn't connect to a problem quite yet because you just don't know what problem they relate to, you definitely want to come back to those, because there may be some items there floating around that you can actually, turn into a business idea. But if you don't have that full list yet, just focus on the problems you were able to identify, and then think about, which one of these problems can I solve for people? Which ones actually I would enjoy solving? Which one of these problems I would actually feel good about solving for people? So the final thing you want to do, now that you've done that brain dump about all of your expertise, experiences, and skills and passions, right? You have identified problems for everything that you identified, that you're good at. Now it's time to look at that list again. And for everything that you circled and you can envision yourself solving a problem, now it's time to bring those items over into another list and think about what kind of services you can offer to solve that problem. Think about everything that person experiences when they have that problem, and think about the services you can provide. And so when you are done with that exercise, you have a list of potential business ideas that are based and rooted in what you're actually experienced and skilled at. Do not build a business around things that you're not qualified to do, or try and solve problems you're not qualified to solve. And don't spend a bunch of money trying to learn something new. Spend your money and invest in your business to evolve your business idea into a profitable business. So that is a wrap for this episode. And I will see you in the next episode of the Boss Experience podcast.